Now we're going to look at well plan naming in Compass. The key concepts. In my opinion, having a robust naming convention for the well planning process is essential. And as we saw in the previous tutorial, it's very important at other levels, but I think for planning it's absolutely essential. And the reasons behind this are that there's just such a huge potential for errors to occur. The naming convention doesn't have to be complex, but it does need to allow for a unique naming for each revision in the planning process. Also, you might want to consider documenting the changes you made at each revision. And as always, we'll see that it's important to make the naming fit for your workflow, especially where you've got maybe an energy company and a directional contractor providing planning input. And also, we'll see how it's essential that both energy company and service provider are using the same naming convention. So when we talk about well plan naming, then we're looking primarily at the naming of prototype, planned and possibly hybrid designs. Perhaps we should just remind ourselves of what these are. As mentioned in other tutorials, as a well plan develops, there may be a number of prototype designs generated, but there can only be one planned design at any one time. So after all the planning iterations, the plan that's signed off and approved to be drilled is tagged as the planned design. And we may choose to retain all these previous revisions, but they'll all be prototypes. There'll only be one planned design, and that's the one that is approved to drill. During drilling operations, we may need to replan the wellbore. For example, if we got way off the planned design, or if the geologists decide to move the targets. And if we do this, we should tie the new plan to the survey data that we already have. And this would be a hybrid design. And we can use a similar naming convention for all these designs. Perhaps the greatest test and the greatest need for a naming convention is at the well planning stage, because there may be numerous revisions of a design and numerous people involved in the planning process. Also, the final product must be distributed to a number of different people in different locations. So there's plenty of opportunity here for errors to occur. And I'm sure we've all seen major scrubs because maybe the geologists have got a different version of the plan to the drilling guys, or the rig's drilling to a different plan to the guys in town. And this still happens. I know for a fact in 2010 a well was planned, it was drilled, then sidetracked and then drilled to TD, and they used completely the wrong well plan. And no one in town or on the rig picked up this mistake until after the well was TD'd. And this wasn't a little out of the way land rig, it was an expensive deep water semi